Hello, everyone. So wonderful to be here once again. Continue our reading of the book, The Way, the Truth, and the Life by Emmanuel through the hands of Chico Xavier. And we are on chapter 41, and it is titled The Magnificent Rule. And in the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 39, Jesus says, "Love your neighbor as yourself." Inconstantly, many centuries before Christ, the magnificent rule was already taught in the world. It was brought and supported by messengers of his wisdom and mercy. However, it is important to clarify that such principle was transmitted with more or less exemplification of its supporters. Greeks used to say, "Do not do to your neighbor what you do not wish to receive from him or her." Persians affirmed, doing the same way you would like to be done to you. Chinese this declared, what you do not wish to you, do not do to others. Egyptians recommended, allow to cross anyone who did to others what they wished to themselves. Hebrews indoctrinated, what you do not wish to yourself, do not do to your neighbor. Romans insisted, the law containing human hearts is to love the members of society as yourself. In the ancient times, all peoples received the magnificent law from Christ's magnanimity. Notwithstanding, prophets, administrators, judges, and philosophers worked as instruments more or less identified with the inspiration of the high spheres of life. Their figures were obli- obliterated within the temples of initiations or were forgotten in time due to their inconsistent testimonials. Nevertheless, with the Master, the magnificent rule is a divine novelty because Jesus taught and exemplified it, not with the partial virtues, but in plenitude of work, abnegation, and love. He taught in openly he taught it openly in public spheres, revealing himself to the eyes of all humanity. Wow, what a wonderful lesson one more time, right? All these chapters are so enlightening, and especially in moments where there is so much discord, so much fights, and so many wars going in the world. Um, let's reflect on let's do to others what we want them to do to us. I think if we all lived by this saying, we would have so much more peace in the world, so much more peace within ourselves, in our home, and in our communities. But in order to do that, it's so important to utilize tools to help us to calm down in moments where we get triggered. We get perhaps overworked and tired, and if something does not go the way that pleases us, we tend to overreact and react in ways that will cause a lot of affliction, not only to ourselves, but to others. So when we do to others what we want them to do to us, we put in consideration other people's feeling, but we put in consideration what the input that I put into life is the input that I'm going to get back. And if we analyze those little moments of when we get triggered and figure out what causes those outbursts of misconduct, right, that comes from our hearts to other people, then I think this is how we're able to lessen more and more the harm that we do to other people. When I say harm, I don't say necessarily harm that will destroy completely the other person. That too, it is included. I say actions such as a word, a body language, a mocking joke, a maybe a joke that may sounds funny, but perhaps um, will send a negative message to the other person, and that creates a lot of misfortune. And to reflect upon that, it's so important to follow what Jesus is asking for us to do. And I think a good way to start as well is to do to ourselves what we want to experience, right? So if when we start also treating ourselves nice and experience the benefits of treating us nice, ourselves better, which means not only the physical or getting our nails done and hair done and making sure that we work out and eat healthy and clean um, and meditate and pray and preach and learn and expand and grow. Not only that, but in general, how about the mind when we are not exercising, when we are not getting our nails done, when we are not preaching, when we are not learning and expanding? How's the our self talk? How is the emotion that's going inside of us? And when we are quiet, how can we how can um, how can we be able to deal with our own innermost desires and innermost fears, wishes and goals? And I think getting to know ourselves allow us to be able to dive deeper into, if I treat myself with respect and I like the benefit of it, then let me treat others with respect, because they're going to like the benefits they will receive and feel, and therefore will cause a positive outcome, a positive response for the most part, right? And also without any strings attached. When we do things to others without waiting to receive a oh thank you, or oh that was amazing, or even a simple message such as anything like oh thank you, you really helped me so much. I really appreciated the way you treated me. So we are able to really do it with our hearts, taking everybody out of the pedestal, ourselves too out of the pedestal, because not always we too will reply the way perhaps the other person wanted. So there's so many different angles that we can see this do to others, what we want them to do to us, and how we are able to put that forth into action. So, with that being said, let's just close our eyes and ask God to be able to guide us for this week, God. Let us do to others what we want them to do to us. God, if we make a mistake, what we want others to do to us, do we wish for them to forgive us? Do we wish for them to be able to continue to believe in us, in the goodness of our heart? Help us to be able to to connect with you, Master Jesus, so that when we care for our brothers and sisters and ourselves, we are not also attached to the outcome, but we do it from the goodness of our hearts. Because how they react is between them and you, Jesus, and you, God. Help us to be able to be an example for ourselves and others. But help us also to find tools to be able to come to that point. Because sometimes we are lost and we don't know where to start. So the tools also, it's learning together, growing together, reading wonderful, enlightening books such as The Way, the Truth, and the Life, the Spirit's book, the Allan Kardec codification, Spiritist codification, and all so many enlightening books and so many enlightening messages, podcasts, and places like Kardec Radio that help us to be able to hear wonderful messages and help us to be able take those tools and utilize them when we most need. We thank you so much, God and Jesus, for everything. Please bless our family members, our house, our work. Bless everything that we do. Inspire us to be able to always grow, but also inspire us to be able to find tools that we can use in difficult moments, and inspire us to go to dive deeper, clean our own inside, our emotions, see them and welcome them, but also to learn that they're not us, not to act with those big emotions, and be able to just calm down before we react to things. We thank you so much, Jesus. So be it. Have a wonderful rest of the week, everybody. I'll see you again next Thursday. Bye bye.